95. 10%.
Later.
He wants to take a picture of you on the truck.
This doesn't look like a trick.
This is nutrition, yeah. If this, I'm very happy wearing it.
Just have nice weather on Saturday. I don't know.
Ci cosa che ti sveglia?
Steve!
Oh, yeah, but I mean, you're not doing a
Hey, Josh.
big long thing. So
Who are you? Where's the...
You want to, light enough, Kelly. You want to carry the Connecticut?
what? Oh, that white with the mask thing.
What's this guy doing?
We're gonna have drinking.
Welcome to the club. That's an...
Yeah, thank you. Look at that.
We'll make a deal with it. That one's mine. No kidding.
I give it to him, and that.
Sure. I got one with me if you want it.
Well,
Hello, Carl. How are you? Good. See you.
hello, guys.
How are you? See you again soon.
How are you?
Everybody, how are you?
Nice crowd, huh?
It was better weather.
Well, you can't control that. The building looks great, too.
I don't know how you can handle that jacket.
Huh?
I don't know how you can handle
He's a tough man. He's a tough man. How are you today, folks? Nice to see you. How are you? All right.
Hello.
Where's Mo?
Joanne.
Joanne, how are you? Frank, how are you? Good.
Over from
Steve,
Old
nice to see you.
Nice, and I'm also an employee of yours.
Is that right? You work for the state?
Yeah, with the Department of Transportation.
You work for a good man. You work for Bill Burns, I'll tell you.
Hey, one of the best.
He's a fine
one,
fellow.
one of the best.
Hi, Eddie. How are you? Good. Good. Hi, Governor. Good. Good to see you. A little warm today.
Well, not too far to march, though.
Not as bad as yesterday.
I heard that was
Downhill. Downhill.
Couldn't have been any hotter than the Hardy.
best form, Governor.
I can see that. I can see that.
All right.
Hey, Ken Dowling, where's your uniform?
How are you, sir?
Somebody who knows what's going on.
on behalf of the company. This has been a long time in coming, and we are very honored to have him here to cut the ribbon. Governor?
It gives me great pleasure to be here today in the lower Connecticut Valley, basically the home of fifing and drumming, the whole United States of America. And it gives me a great pleasure as the governor of this great state to cut the ribbon and officially open this Fife and Drum Museum for peoples all over the United States to come and visit in the future. Congratulations to all of you that have worked so hard throughout the years to make this day possible.
Thank you, Governor.
I want to hear you count to 3 and then I'll cut. Start counting.
1, 2, 3.
All right.
Joe.
Obviously, the sailing masters of 1812, the Essex Pipe and Drum Corps. Another hat I wear currently is the First Selectman of Essex. And in that regard, I want to welcome the Governor of the State of Connecticut, Bill O'Neill, his wife, Nikki, select women from Essex, Fran Odell, and Alice Pinsent, from Deep River, Amy Marvin. I also want to welcome all the members of the Company of Fifes and Drums for your opening today, and most particularly, I want to welcome to Essex all those people that have come for this historic opening of the Fife and Drum Museum. It is very hot, and that will conclude what I have to say. I'm going to now introduce the president of the Company of Fifes and Drums, Frank Orsini.
Thank you, John. I know it's hot. Look at me, look at you, look at the governor. I'd like to thank the governor and his wife and all us invited guests for helping us open our museum today. This has been something that we've been dreaming about for 20 years, and thank God for the governor, he's helped us achieve it. And we're not going to talk too much, I promise you. But without any further ado, we'd like to continue with our national anthem, and then we'll have our company prayer. Thank you.
We present the Fifers from the Deep River Senior Drum Corps playing our national anthem.
I present arms.
Now, everyone, please pray with us as our chaplain will recite the company prayer.
Let us bow our heads in prayer, please. Almighty God, Father of freedom, author of the blessings of liberty, we thank you for the great company of ancient musicians who in their several generations have been instruments in the search for human dignity and messengers in the pursuit of happiness. We commend all who have marched before us into your safekeeping, seeking for ourselves such wisdom and understanding as may strengthen us as citizens of a free society, inspiring in others a like desire by our music and example. We ask your protection for fifers and drummers throughout the land and the hope of your divine providence for all men. Amen.
Caligari, run! Look out, look at the right face. Strong lip. March.
Okay. I see. Are you ready?
My stuff's not in there.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, fellow fifers and drummers and guests. I think the person who can tell you most about this whole place is our curator, Eddie Olsen. So without any further ado, I'll let him give you a little background on everything. Thank you.
We're going to have a presentation of some very famous drums played by some old drummers. Someone asked me if they thought the drums would be sufficiently able to be played upon. I said the drums are probably in better shape than a lot of the drummers. And I know they wouldn't take offense to that because it is true. Now, we're going to have them come in one at a time, I'll indicate what the drums are, just who the gentlemen are, and they're going to play Army 2/4 straight through and at a slow cadence. There are 9 separate snare presentations scheduled and 2 bass drums. Then 5 drummers will come in at once, and that's the end. You'll have to check this before we start, and I'm not supposed to read this part. But that's the way those things go because I hadn't practiced this. However, let the music begin. Where is our...
Excuse me, however, we have one change. Mr. Lyons...
He's the drum lieutenant emeritus of the Salem Masters of 1812, the local drum corps. He played at the dedication of this building when it was initially built in 1938. Now, he's going to present an original drum made by a famous drum craftsman family. This is an Eli Brown drum that was made in 1820. Of our organization, he's a drummer for more than 50 years, I think a lot more. Eldrick Arsenal. He presents a drum played by the country's most prolific drum instructor, the late Earl Sturts, who presented us with his entire collection of memorabilia, and it's on view downstairs. Earl's widow, Ronnie, has made us trip up from Florida just to be with us today. The next man is another famous drum. It's a 1903 Lion and Healy drum made in Chicago that was played by a lifetime member, Acton Usling, a former Chester native who introduced ancient drum corps to New York State in 1935. Acton was an avid researcher of drum corps lore since 1928, and he has donated his entire collection. Museum volunteer, longtime member of our executive committee, and drum sergeant of the Stony Creek Drum Corps. He presents a drum crafted by Larry LaRue is probably the correct pronunciation, but since he always referred to himself as Larry Larrix, that's what I'm going to call him. He was with the old Yalesville Corps, and this drum was donated by... I had to give him a less than deep drum because we didn't want it dragging on the floor. The next person coming through the door, I didn't want to say gentleman, is Ed Classy. He's a longtime member of the executive committee. He's volunteered hundreds of hours here at the museum. He's a fifer in Mount Vernon, New York for the VFW 596 post in the 30s. Now my fellow trustee of the company, Dave Boddy, a snare drummer for 56 years and still marches with this corps, the Charles Dickinson Corps of New Rochelle. He presents his first rope played permanently in our museum collection. We were supposed to have Jack Prendergast next. Should I indicate that we have a...
Can't hear it.
Jack, New York State bass drum champion. He began his drumming in the St. Esmond School in the Bronx and is just as comfortable playing a snare drum. This is Freddie Bruder. He's a refugee from Basel, Switzerland, accommodate his many trips over here. He is the one who probably is the most instrumental in introducing American style. Now we have, you notice how slowly he goes. They're very, very slow over there. And now Percussion Hall of Fame member Eric Perillo of New York State presents two of the Hall of Fame's newest members, Connecticut drum champion Bob Redigan and our drum chairman for today, Hugh Quagley. There's an old bunch. Real ancient. They march at an ancient beat. And now Harold Eck will tap off for a traditional rendering of the standard drum beat. See him going, I said, it won't work. It worked. I have to say he was right twice in his life. Now, Bill likes to pass himself off as an ex-New Yorker, but he came from Yonkers, and we know that's not New York. However, Bill's done a lot, and I think we should listen to him, even though it might be painful.
Thank you, Edward. We've been going back and forth at each other since I said I met Eddie when I marched through his house with the New York Regimental Fife and Drum Band in 1958. And I think I'm very fortunate that I immigrated to Connecticut because in the governor of the state of Connecticut, we in Fife and Drum certainly have a sincere friend. I wonder if you recall the first time I gave you one of these. It was when Yankee Doodle was signed on as the state song. That's the first commemorative mark from the museum. Being a little Italian and a little Irish, I don't want to get too emotional, but I tell you, I love this guy. He's our keynote speaker, and I know that he wants to read a little bit of the official statement, so I'll be sure that I give that to him.
All right.
And we appreciate very much having him and his lovely wife, Nikki, here with us.
Bill, thank you very much. Thank you. The most important thing I can be today is brief, and I'm going to be very brief. I have the official statement, and there are a lot of whereases and therefores within it, but I'm not going to read this whole document. But what I am going to say to you of Fife and Drum fame, really, because some of you are famous. You've been doing it for years and years. And this museum now has come to fruition, finally, after an awful lot of hard work by the fellow standing behind me and you out there. This is a perfect example, in my opinion, of the local government. Here we are in Essex. State government, state of Connecticut, and the private sector, people like yourselves that have an interest in fifing and drumming, coming together to take this old hall and turning it into a very, very beautiful place. And a place that I hope, 100 years from now, there'll be another group dedicating this on its 100th anniversary. And another governor standing up here, and other Bill Paces and fifers and drummers like yourself saying, I wonder how easy it was for them back in those days. Probably was a snap. We've got a lot of work to do to the building now. They didn't quite do it the right way 100 years ago, but nice to be here. And that's what they'll say, I hope. And it's nice to be here today as the governor. And to say to all of you, thank you for a job well done. And this official statement talks about the opening of this museum, and it also names this week, July 12th through July 19th, as official Fife and Drum Week in the state of Connecticut. So to all of you fifers and drummers, thanks for all you've done for the state of Connecticut. Thanks for having me here today, and I know how to put this to very good use. Thank you.
No, I'm not going to make a speech. I'm going to turn the microphone over to a fellow who has been inside this hall for probably 1,000 hours over the last few years, Buzz Allen. He's a drum corps dad. He's been our chief interior designer. He's the chairman of the Ancients Fund, and he has a special commemorative gift for the governor. Oops. Trying to get it. I gotta get it down.
Slight engineering problem here.
I'll have to hold it.
Governor, this gift is from the Company of Fifers and Drummers in appreciation for all you have done for ancient fifing and drumming, and in particular for your encouragement and your help in establishing this museum. Before I present the gift on this special day, I would like to remember a lot of our special members who worked very hard on this building and unfortunately did not live to share this day with us. This gift is also from them. We made the box. You'll probably never speak to me again because I drew this.
My God, it's a pudgy old Bill O'Neill is what it is. Guys, thank you very much. That's good. We need to get back to us. He's very accurate, I hate to admit. Thank you, Buzz, thank you. That's a great picture. Now, I'll hang that appropriately if my wife lets me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We'd also like to give the governor a copy of the official program. And I guess that does it, folks. It's a long, hot afternoon, and I guess maybe under the tent. We said no alcoholic beverages from 2 to 5. Maybe we'll rescind that rule at 3:05 or something and over out under the tent. It's good to see you all. As you leave, I just would like to remind you that we have a week of fifing and drumming coming up on Tuesday evening at 7:30 on the green at Westbrook, Wednesday at 7:30 on the green in Chester, Thursday at 6:30 on the green in Colchester, Friday the Torchlight Tattoo, and we end our great Fife and Drum Week with the National Muster. The Deep River Ancient Muster Parade kicks off 12 o'clock Saturday in Deep River. Let's hope for a little cooler weather. Thank you, Governor. Thank you. Now, the governor should be escorted, but it looks like we're breaking up and going to do it informally. We should really escort the governor from the podium. Let's have a big round of applause for Governor O'Neill, his wife, Vicky.
How are you, Governor? She met you once before in New Haven at the parade about a year ago.
You don't remember, I remember.
How about if we get a nice picture of you and the governor?
Wait a minute, hang on to this, there we go. She says, hey, wait a minute, Daddy, where are you going? Here we go, okay. All right. One more. Okay.
Thanks very much, Governor.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, here we go. Nice to be back in the historic valley, too.
Well, I just think that it's really incredible that we have all this history wrapped up in one little building here in Connecticut. I think it's a wonderful thing. Makes me feel very good inside.
It made me proud.
I think a day like this is good for everybody. Even though it's warm, it's actually a lot of warmth from the heart that went into this building here.
The governor being here for opening day. It's great. You know, first time I saw him.
Well, I think it showed that the governor and his staff support what we're doing, and I think that's nice to know too.
I think we gotta loosen that up a little. I don't know if it's my height or my stomach. We gotta loosen it.
Is it? What song you gonna play?
I don't know that I'm gonna play any song.
Can we get another drummer and a piper like the Spirit of 76?
I would like the Spirit of 76. We're in the Gulf Street Armory. All right, that's it. Well, let's go. There it goes. That's all I know, and I don't know that. Keep on going.
Have your autograph.
Somehow they get slower and slower. Thank you very much. Nice. That's Dick Cole. Okay. Very steady. Where is he? Dick, this your drum. Thanks. Who's Nick? Who's Dick Cole? Right here. Nick, thank you very much. Anybody got a pipe? Yeah. Give him a blessing here. As much as we're going to get. All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Well, I took a backup show for about. I'll go back up with the troop for 2 weeks. As you can obviously see.
What are you doing tonight, Kevin?
And I got as good as I got. That was as good as I got.
My sister plays the Fifers.
He was very disappointed. He wanted to see it. He came from out of town. Play it again. Yeah.
We have the one for the Pratt Museum.
We didn't really shake hands. We'll do it again.
You know that gentleman, my wife Carol.
Nice to see you again.
And my dad, Raymond Fowler.
Ray, how are you? Nice to see you.
His 87th birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday to you.
Meet you for his birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
I left it at 12 o'clock. Thanks very much. Appreciate your being here.
Well, it has been a fantastic day, much more successful than any of us really had hoped to hope for. It's worked out well. The governor's presence here was very important. We have people here from Switzerland, from all over the country, and it shows that there is hope. There's hope for this crazy activity that we're involved in. There was a time we didn't think there was, but I guess there is.
Okay, smile. Great. Bill. No. Wait, my dad.
Father and state champions. You met him downstairs. He was down.
Park right here.
Okay, I want some credit for you. Of course, we'll get together. Okay, I used to cart this guy around. I'd like to congratulate all those that have been involved in the renovation of this old building, making into the fife and drum museum that it's turned out to be. And I believe that people from all over the United States of America in future years are going to come here and appreciate the early beginnings of this country through the fife and drum music that will be played here and through the instruments that will be displayed here as well. So I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, job well done. Have a good afternoon, everybody.
Thank you for coming, Governor. My pleasure. My honor.
What's this?